It is in keeping with my Team Unity administration's commendable record of good governance, transparency, and accountability in guaranteeing the smooth functioning of democracy in this, our beautiful country, that I come before the nation today to update our people of St. Kitts and Nevis regarding the indisputable facts and figures that reinforce a picture of an economy and a state of affairs that is improving under our unity government. There are a lot of positive things to report. Something good is always happening in our country, for which we give God thanks and glory. My fellow citizens and residents, I wish to begin by commending our law enforcement officers on their very good work over the past 14 weeks ending April 6, 2019. We have enjoyed a period of relative calm, save for the difficult period of the first half of February 2019. Statistics from the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police reveal a significant 39% reduction in major crimes within our federation. Major crimes include homicides, non-fatal shootings, and other bodily harm offenses, robberies, break-ins, sexual assaults, larceny, drugs offenses, and so on. Significant reductions were recorded in larcenies, in break-ins, in robberies, and other bodily harm offenses, leading to the overall reduction in major crimes in the Federation from a total of 580 reported during the first quarter of 2018 to 352 for the comparative period for this year. The reduction occurred both on the island of St. Kitts, where there was a 42% reduction, and in Nevis, where there was a 21% reduction. There are 3 police districts, districts A, B, and C, and the reduction in crime was realized across all 3. For 13 of the 14 weeks reported on, that is up to the 6th of April 2019, reported crimes were lower in 2019 than in the comparative 14-week period of 2018. The residents of our country deserve commendation for this improvement in our situation. The most significant decrease in major crimes occurred in Division A. Division A largely comprises the Bastille and outskirts of Bastille. Division A registered a 46% reduction compared with the same period last year. Division B registered a 30% reduction compared with last year, and Division C, which is Nevis, you'll have heard, registered a 21% reduction. At yesterday's cabinet meeting, we commended Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Hilroy Brandy, and other members of the High Command, along with our National Security Advisor, and what is wonderful news in terms of the downward trend in crime observed over the 14 weeks period to which I made reference. We appeal to all parents and support systems within the family, the fathers, the mothers, the cousins, the uncles, aunts, etc., to promote a wholesome family life, favorable to the positive growth and development of our nation's youth, so that they can grow up to reject violence and crime and become productive contributing members of this country, whom we can all be proud of as they put into practice all of your wise teachings and example. We encourage them to follow the alternative path of peaceful engagement. My government is committed to the peace and stability of our federation. We are committed to a holistic approach to crime reduction, and we will work with every entity that genuinely offers to help and is striving to make St. Kitts and Nevis a country where peace abounds. Peace and stability provide the environment for the expansion of a larger freedom, a better quality of life, businesses to thrive, the freedom of religion to be exercised, and our sons and daughters to actualize and utilize their God-given talents. This downward trend in serious crime is wonderful news indeed. In my conversations yesterday with the diplomats of the United States of America and Israel, we discussed bilateral cooperation in several areas, including security. When these initiatives are at an advanced stage, more information will be provided. I want to turn now to our fiscal and economic report. The Financial Secretary has advised that our fiscal returns available up to February 2019 reflect that our country is in surplus again. Our recurrent balance, our overall balance, and primary balance are all in surplus. These surpluses provide clear and irrefutable evidence as to our very good fiscal health and the prudent management of our economy. Our accounts are done in accordance with international classifications and standards. Hence, they are comparable with data of any sophisticated country. It is the same data set that is being used by the Ministry of Finance, that is available to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the CDB, the IMF, ECLAC, and any other entity. Economic growth in St. Kitts and Nevis increased in 2018 for the 5th time in a row. Over the period 2010 to 2014, the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis had declined in 2010, in 2011, in 2012 by 3.8% in 2010, negative 1.9 in 2011, negative 0.9 in 2012. For these facts, you go to the IMF press release 14/138, dated the 24th of March 2014. Even with growth rates at 6.6% and 5.1% reported in 2013 and 2014 respectively, over that 5-year window, 2010 to 2014, the economy grew by a mere 1.02%. According to the CDB, in 2018, our growth will hinge mainly on the tourism industry. There was a significant increase in airlift, in additional room stock, and strong growth in cruise ship arrivals at the start of the year. The transport sector also displayed robust growth, while construction activity decelerated after a very strong 2017 performance. The 2018 St. Kitts and Nevis Country Economic Review, issued on March 14th by the CDB, indicates that St. Kitts and Nevis ranked first in the OECS with respect to its primary balance and public sector debt ratio. Within CARICOM member states, St. Kitts and Nevis' primary balance was the best in the region at 7.1% of GDP. As stated earlier, real GDP growth for St. Kitts and Nevis was estimated preliminarily at 2.50. This puts us ahead of 18 of the 14 member states of CARICOM and which the CDP report made reference to. The public sector debt for St. Kitts and Nevis was recorded at 58.2% of GDP, making us, what the ECB has already told us, the best performance among independent member states of our sub-region. The Federation ranks second in CARICOM region with respect to its international reserves, which provide up to 8 months of import coverage. Put into context, the international benchmark for international reserve is 3 months. So we are doing much better than the international standards. The Caribbean Development Bank was, as we are, very optimistic about the future of St. Kitts and Nevis. It says, and I quote in its outlook, CDB projects an increase in growth to 3% in 2019, mainly on the back of expanding construction and tourism activities. Construction activities expected to accelerate with the ongoing public infrastructure investment at the St. Kitts Airport and Seaport. We have spoken to that, and that work is ongoing on each of the island's main roads. Tourism activity is expected to rise following a further increase in airlift, including a new direct flight for Minneapolis. Minneapolis, yes. The hotels and restaurant sector and the transport sector will be the main beneficiaries of this expansion. I should point out that the Cdp growth rate for 2018 was a preliminary one, and the ECB's own estimate for 2018 has put us at 3.1%. The continued growth for 2019 will be sustained by several public sector projects and private sector, but I wish to focus on those within the public sector, since those are what the government has control over. The Old Road Bay Rehabilitation Program will pick up steam. The Old Road Fisheries Project, our housing projects being done by the NHC, the Development Bank, and others that are subsidized by way of the First-Time Homeowners Program. All of these are being built out. The second cruise pier, of course, continues apace, and the resurfacing of our runways at the RLB Rattray International Airport will continue. These are just some of the heavy capital expenditures that are being financed by the government and the extended public sector. We have other good news. We have been acclaimed by the international community. Credible, independent, unbiased assessment points to the fact that in many areas we are moving in the right direction and we are excelling. According to the Henley Passport Index, ranking on the 26th of March 2019, our passport was adjudged number 1 in the OECS, number 3 in CARICOM, and number 27 in the world. The ranking is based on visa-free and visa on arrival access to other countries. St. Kitts and Nevis is reported to have visa-free or visa on arrival access to 152 countries, according to Henley's Passports Index. However, more accurately, as you would have heard from our Minister of Foreign Affairs, we have, in fact, 158 countries to which we have visa-free or visa and arrival access. That, of course, would put us further in terms of the quality of our passport. I want to point again to the World Justice Project Rule of Law Index of 2019, because it provides an independent evaluation of the rule of law around the world. And we are part of that world. And it has given us some excellent ratings, of which we as patriots of St. Kitts and Nevis should be proud, while we continue to press on to an even higher ranking. Within CARICOM, St. Kitts and Nevis ranked #1 in constraints and government powers, order and security, and civil justice. We were ranked as number 16 in the world on the civil justice. In the categories of fundamental rights and regulatory framework, we placed second. St. Kitts and Nevis ranked overall 30 out of 126 countries surveyed. And of that, we were the second best ranked in CARICOM, just 1 point below Barbados. We are ranked #1 in the OECS, the best performing country on the rule of law and good governance. The results and constraints and government powers mean that there is no authoritarian rule here, as some would want us to believe. We are #1 in the region, which means you can't go better than that. And no one has gone better than that in the region. Fundamental rights are acknowledged, and we are among the best in the region, coming in at #2. Our regulatory framework is strong, second in the region. Our civil justice report card, we rank #1. And the criminal justice system, we rank #4. And in the absence of corruption, we rank #3 in the region. These are high rankings, excellent rankings coming from independent, unbiased persons. These objective rankings by international reputable entities belie the propaganda being pushed by those with a biased agenda that there is corruption and dictatorship in this, our beloved democratic country. Our transparent bidding process is evident. We transparently selected the entities to construct our second cruise spare, our road resurfacing projects, the Old Road Fisheries Project, Tabernacle Health Center, and we could go on and on. This is the way Team Unity does business. We publicly declare who win these projects so that all could be in the sunshine of public accountability. Transparency, accountability, and integrity, and love for our people are at the center of the operations of my administration. Turning now to Diplomatic Week, we are happy to host a large number of dignitaries as we celebrate the 4th offering of Diplomatic Week. Diplomatic Week was inaugurated way back in 2007 under my watch as Minister of Foreign Affairs. I want to commend the Minister of Foreign Affairs for continuing this worthwhile initiative. Yesterday, I successfully engaged in bilaterals with the high-level representatives from South Africa, the USFA, Vietnam, Austria, Georgia, and Israel. Finally, I want to commend our Minister of Tourism and the Tourism Authority for another good news of recent vintage. We have won the title of Best Sustainable Tourism Destination on the planet Earth. I am proud to report that on all fronts, our Federation is doing well. Not perfect, but clearly doing well. Our economy is strong and buoyant. Our society is at peace and stable. Our future with the help of God is bright. And our Team Unity administration continues to work assiduously for all of our citizens and residents to enjoy the benefits. Speaking of benefits, let me advise that the next payout under the Poverty Alleviation Program should take place on April 30th, 2019. To date, my government has assisted, according to the Accountant General, 3,848 households. That's the average, 3,848 households. The average monthly disbursement, according to Mr. Bratcher, is in the region of 1.9 million, and the total processed by the Accountant General's Department for the 4 months, December up to March 31st, is put at around 7.7 million. Those households, those families are living better because of the pursuance of social justice by the Team Unity administration.